Hi guys, and welcome to my review of Predator 2. This is a sequel that picks up in what is a then future. At the time it was released in 1997, and it focuses on Danny Glover, who is playing a disgruntled cop, a role that he knows very well. And he is, and the police force are essentially tracking down these gangs who have, as this gang warfare has broken out on the streets of Los Angeles, and pretty soon we find us, this investigation finds itself embroiled in the Predator, who actually doesn't give a toss about the case or this gang warfare. The Predator is just interested in doing what the Predator does and tearing through these guys. So yeah, this is a sequel that for a long time I really didn't like. I find it a real disappointment. I find it a bit of a waste. But there's something that always kind of, despite that, there's something about this that always kind of keeps me coming back, and always will, just very sparingly every now and again I'll just find myself in the mood to kind of revisit it. Despite me and not really having a history of necessarily liking this film. And I think a reason for that is because I think this is a movie that over the years time has been quite kind to. I do think it's a sequel that has developed a bit of a cult status, and to be honest with you, I can see that. I think that there's quite a bit to admire here. I do give plaudits to the idea of that it doesn't try to rehash the first one in any way. It does take some bold swings. It does move the action into a city, yeah, that's a concept that I can get on board with. I don't think the execution of it is particularly right, and I don't think that the two plots with the Predator and the police investigation necessarily gel particularly well together, because I do find myself really invested in the Predator action and not so much on the police stuff. And when it goes away from the Predator stuff and we go into the police investigation, I find myself just a little bit bored. Sometimes it does kind of feel like almost like that there was just this police film pitch that was very stereotypical of a lot of police films around that time. And so, the studio kind of just went, well, we're not really confident we can get that off the ground. It doesn't really have a spice. These stories are kind of 10 a penny right now. But I tell you what, if we got Danny Glover, we got Gary Busey. They've been really big in Lethal Weapon. We've got and then, Predator was big in 1987. So how about we insert these into it and just, and then we might have something. And, obviously I'm not making any affirmation that was a backstory. I don't think it was. But, I'm just saying, but that kind of, it almost has that feel, because there is it does feel a bit of a disconnect between the two plots that we've got going on here. So I do feel that it was the execution was a little bit of a waste of its potential. But I will say that as I keep revisiting this over the years, my opinion of it grows a little bit more and bit more. And as I said, I think that's because I think that time has been kind to the sequel. I think that it's especially with a state that I find like a lot of action films in today, there's something quite charm about going back to this sort of level of filmmaking, and you kind of realize that, you know, back in the day there was, even when they weren't being done particularly well in such a case as this, they were still better than a lot of the stuff coming out. So it just so yeah, it's a tricky one, and I find myself here kind of really smack bam in the middle. And there is a real this the finale is a bit of a letdown. I do for the final showdown between Danny Glover's character and the Predator, I feel is a bit of a letdown. I do really like the set designs though, and I do give a big thumbs up, because it just this finale does have a real big fan servicey moment. Where you basically see the skull of Xenomorph, which is just a really cool, nerdy thing. I think it's the first acknowledgement in the Predator franchise of it kind of merging the two franchises. They had been done kind of in the comics, but that was kind of it. So yeah, that was kind of cool. So that was just a really cool, nerdy, fan servicey moment. There's a scene in here where the Predator kills one of the gang members, and you know that this Predator is like a trophy hunter, and you know he collects the skulls and stuff. You know this from the first film, but here you actually see him kind of skinning the skull and preparing the skull. I thought that was really kind of cool. I thought that was kind of gnarly. So yeah, like I said, when it gets to the Predator action, I'm really quite enjoy this movie. It's just, I think the police half of this kind of lets it down. And I don't think that having Danny Glover and Gary Busey kind of in the same film together after like Lethal Weapon, that being a really obviously big police film in the late 80s as well, necessarily helps that angle here as well. I don't think it does it too many favours. I mean, I was a big Danny Glover fan, so I'm always happy to see him. And the idea of seeing him face off against a Predator, you know, that's an idea that I'm kind of all down for. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag for me, but yeah, like I said, it's but as I said, my opinion of it is creepingly up as throughout the years. It does seem to get, every time I revisit this, it gets marginally a little bit better. And there's not many films I can say, especially in this franchise, I can say that about. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say on it, really. So yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to see this video. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be reviewing all of the Predator films, including Predator Badlands when it drops. I will be also reviewing the Alien franchise, and then I'll be merging these two franchises together to rank all Predator and Alien films together from the worst to the best. So yeah, be sure to check that out. And yeah, let me know down in the comment section what your thoughts are, because yeah, this is quite a divisive film, but possibly the most divisive film in the franchise, possibly, because yeah, I do think that there's this wasn't really kind of received particularly well, and I think that still remains a general consensus. But there is definitely a cult audience over the years for this film. So yeah, be intrigued to know where you guys land on this. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section what your thoughts are, and until next time, I will see you guys on the next video.